Whoa! The Braves are back in the NLCS for the second year in a row, and we are back for another episode of Real Sports. Of course, I'm Colin, joined by the master himself, Matt Thomas, licking the wounds from one of the best games I've seen in a very long time, sir. Nothing to hang thy head about.
Except the BS pass interference
get
call.
By the Monday Night Miracle in Baltimore with the 22-9 reversal, and the Ravens come and win 31-25.
Chandler Jones is on the COVID list going into Sunday's game.
That's big. That's big. Big win there. We got a lot of big stories to talk about. Of course, as most of you know, there are some huge controversial topics that we are going to do our best to keep it real with you on Real Sports.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and run through the fun stuff, and then we'll get to the serious stuff. Fun stuff, Braves just topped the Milwaukee Brewers 3-1. Well, it was 5-4 on a homer by Freddie Freeman to win the series 3-1 in Atlanta. First time the Braves had clinched an NLDS series at home since 2001. Did not realize it was that long. That's insane for I think for a franchise as big as the Braves. The Red Sox last night pulled off one of the improbable wins of the postseason, beating the Tampa Bay Rays, advancing to the ALCS. And earlier today, the Houston Astros put a whooping on the Chicago White Sox to advance to face those Red Sox. And right now, the Giants and Dodgers are playing in the other matchup of the NLDS, and it is currently 2-0 Dodgers in the bottom of the third. We'll keep you updated on that throughout the game. My stepdad, Dennis, huge Giants fan. Rooting for the Giants just so there's a higher chance that I will get to go to a playoff game, because two people in one series in one family usually means that things end up happening and you end up going. So keep you posted on that. Big stuff in the NFL this weekend. Matt, we need the report. What is the mood in Cleveland? What is the mood around Browns Nation and the Dog Pound?
Well, Browns Nation is dumb as fuck, so I don't even want to get into it, because they're all like, Browns Nation is over here like, maybe Baker's not the guy. Your quarterback can't play defense. He literally threw for nearly 400 yards. The offense had over 500
with a dumbass
yards.
Other shoulder.
Right. Offense had nearly 500 yards of offense. Like, there were some horrible calls or non-calls, like a play where, JT Treader is getting choked and it gets called offensive holding.
Oh, talk to Tavon Young about that, about what it's like to get your head squished to the ground and then you slightly retaliate by pushing him and he falls over.
Oh, no, I know. I watched that play live and I went, Myles Garrett being tackled while on defense, because apparently if your name's Myles Garrett, people can tackle you. And then, that pass interference call. So, Clevelanders, my buddy Zach and I are on the same page. People who are against Baker need to just shut their mouths and let the season continue to go. ESPN and everybody else is running their mouths. Oh, maybe Baker's not the guy. This, that, and
Let's not act like that team is doing all it can for him. His biggest playmaker is his biggest playmaker outside of the backfield was David Njoku. And that's not anything anybody saw coming outside of practice this week, if you were there.
David Njoku had like 175 yards on 3 catches. Like, man.
Incredible stuff. Man. I don't know how Kyle Brandt didn't put him on angry runs this morning with that one that he had where he was clearly in space and then just like shoved the one guy down. Oh, man. It's incredible. He is just a gifted athlete. But let's run.
He wants to stay in Cleveland, so please, for the love of God. Right now, he seems like the best tight end we have outside of blocking. I'm sitting here, I'm like, I love Hooper because he can actually block. That's where Njoku fails. But Njoku's providing us what you want from the passing game, which we haven't gotten from Hooper, and why we're playing him to be a top tight end. So,
right. Well, on that note, before we get to the Monday night game, let's sandwich the opposite way. We'll work from the top, work from the bottom up, and work from Thursday night's games on. As we had Thursday night football, we had Sunday morning football, we had Sunday late night football, we had 15 and a half hours of football on Sunday. It was the longest stretch of NFL football ever, which cool. I'm glad I was alive for that. Thursday night, Rams beat the Seahawks 26-17. Matt Stafford, I think it's one of the bigger wins for him. Primetime game doesn't seem like a big game to a lot of other people. You could say, hey, Colin, he just beat Tom Brady a couple weeks ago. This is a division game. I think that means more. And beating Russell Wilson, well, you didn't really beat Russell Wilson, but you kind of took him out. It was kind of a huge mental win, and it kind of felt like a win and a half for the Rams. Falcons and Jets traveled over to London Town in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and the Falcons came out with the win 27-20. Cordero Patterson is a beast, along with my godson, Kyle Pitts. Finally had himself a game. 9 receptions, 119 yards, 1 touchdown. Finally, the world is talking about Kyle Pitts, and I am already dreaming about the quarterback that the Atlanta Falcons are going to get that's going to throw to him for the next 15 years. Because I know it's not going to be Matthew Ryan.
Sat him on my bench.
That must be rough. On to, you want to talk about rough? Ready for rough? Packers and Bengals, where every single highlight package I saw of this game started at 20-22. It all started at the end of the fourth quarter. You didn't even get the touchdowns. We didn't even want to see any of that stuff. What do we want to see? Dudes missing field goals. We had 15 extra points missed between Thursday and Monday night. That is the most in a single week in NFL history. Somebody called Deflategate because something's wrong with these footballs or something's wrong with these holders. I don't even know, but let's get to it. Crosby hits a 49-yarder at the end after 3 misses. McPherson, the Bengals kicker, thought he nailed the game-winning kick as time expired, leaped into his offensive lineman's arms like he won the game.
No, that wasn't when time expired. That was overtime.
Oh, that was overtime. Yeah, that was overtime. And then he looks down because he sees the flag. He thought he hit the flag. Just because you hit the flag, bro, doesn't mean it went in. And he's sad. But the thing that was interesting to me, actually, was the video captured after the game between Max Crosby and McPherson, the 2 kickers, where Crosby and him were speaking on similar terms because they had both actually missed kicks from the same side, which I thought was interesting. The way where Crosby had missed his kick at the end of regulation and McPherson were on the same end of the stadium. And it actually ended up being that they were both just confused that the wind was taking it like a wind tunnel or a really weird way. So funny to see that something in that Bengal stadium just was not right. On to Minnesota, where the Vikings topped the Lions 19-17. Heartbreak for the Lions, who were up 17-16 with 47 seconds left. And the daggum Vikings rally to keep the Lions winless, and they get a Joseph field goal as time expired. Not really a good day for anybody. Alexander Madison had 113 yards on 25 carries. Justin Jefferson had a fine fantasy day. I was rounding up to fantasy points. 124 yards. That's 12.4 fantasy points, folks, with 7 receptions. Over to the Steelers, who handed the Broncos their second loss of the season, 27-19. Ben Roethlisberger, 2 touchdowns, and Najee Harris, 23 carries, 122 yards. Chase Claypool, 130 yards and a touchdown. Deontay Johnson also had a great touchdown. Nice to see him bounce back. Buccaneers, massive rout of the Dolphins. Unbelievable stuff from Thomas Brady. I mean, he's a god right now. 5 touchdowns. Father Time is truly defying all rules of logic. That none of it makes any sense. Antonio Brown, 7 receptions, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns. Nice to see AB back. Saints take care of the football team, 33-22. Eagles take care of the Panthers, 21-18. Hurts runs for 2 touchdowns, 1 going in the last seconds of the game. Titans 37-19 win over the Jaguars. 2 winless teams right now, Jaguars and the Lions, 0-5. Trevor Lawrence, though, kind of getting into shape. 273, 1 touchdown. Not too bad. Patriots get that road win over the Texans, 25-22. Late field goal there from them. Davis Mills, though, 3 touchdowns. Doesn't suck. I'll say that. It doesn't suck. Over to the Pats. Oh, just talked about the Pats. Bears and Raiders, 20-9. I mean, Justin Fields, good for you, dude, getting the first win. It's just tough right now. They got a lot going on in that wide receiver room, and it's just hard to see them being super duper successful with Justin Fields unless they can really get more out of Allen Robinson. Because I mean, Darnell Mooney is your number 1 receiver is not the world you want to be living in if you're a Chicago Bears fan right now. And with David Montgomery out, you got Khalil Herbert and the other guy, Damian Williams. I mean, that's fine. You're working with that, but David Montgomery out for the next 4 weeks. Huge loss for the Bears. And yes, we talked about the Chargers and the Browns, 47-42 win by the Chargers. Herbert had 4 touchdowns in that, 398 yards. Nick Chubb, 161 yards, 1 touchdown. And Mikey Williams, oh my God, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's the nicest thing I'll say about a Clemson player on this show. Cowboys. How about them Cowboys, folks? 44-20 win over the Giants. 4-1 the Cowboys are. 3-0 at home. Dak Prescott, 302 yards, 3 touchdowns. Zeke Elliott getting back to it with 21 carries, 110 yards, 1 touchdown. And the man of the show, though, was Mr. Kadarius Toney. 10 receptions, 189 yards, no touchdowns for the Giants. But this rookie is somebody to be looking out for. I have him in a dynasty league, and we have been hit with trades all week long. Everybody wants this guy. They see big potential with him. I'm still on the fence where I need to see more. I need to see a week or 2 more of it just to prove to me that he's not capable of possibly just being Rondale Moore, where Rondale Moore comes in and has some off weeks. If Toney can be a consistent producer and show that he's higher than that, then the sky's the limit, because we know that Danny Jones needs a dude that can just grow with him and Saquon, and a 1, 2, 3 punch of those 3 guys would just be insane for the Giants. On to our boy Bucks Cardinals, topping the Niners 17-10. They are 5-0, the only undefeated team in the NFL, but it was ugly. Kyler Murray, 239 yards, 1 touchdown. Trey Lance actually led the Niners in rushing with 16 carries, 89 yards. It was just not a pretty day at all for either team offensively, and both defenses really just showed up and made it a hard day for all in Arizona. On to Sunday Night Football, where if you did not stay up through the rain delay, you missed a doozy of a beatdown, because, oh my goodness gracious, the Bills are for real at 4-1. Josh Allen, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dawson Knox, 3 receptions, 117 yards, 1 touchdown. Always had a feeling about Dawson Knox. He's a great player. And it's going to be fun to see him just get better with this Bills offense, because if they have a consistent tight end to throw to, they kind of remind me of they way differently than the Ravens offense, but Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson stretch the field in the same sense. Stephon Diggs, a better version of Hollywood Brown, and Mark Andrews, a better version of Dawson Knox. So in some sense, they even out. And you can say Lamar's a better runner, Josh Allen's a much better passer, but God, I really want to see this AFC Championship game, because this Ravens fan, I want the best to be who the Ravens have to face. I don't want any doubters. I don't want anything when this thing comes through that we didn't have to put up the best fight we had to. And that takes us to Monday Night Football, where the Ravens beat the Colts 31-25. One of the most unbelievable comebacks I have ever seen. The Ravens were down 22-9 at the start of the 4th quarter as we welcome back Matt Thomas. Matt, what were you? Well, I had given up. I had the entire second half of the game last night muted because I could not listen to those 3 knuckleheads try to talk about football. Like, Steve Levy is going to do hockey tonight. I need people to realize that the dude that's doing Monday Night Football is also doing hockey. He's not Jim Nantz.
No, he's not. He's no Jim Nantz. That is for sure.
You need to talk for a second. What did you think about the game last night?
I only watched those last 3 drives, dude.
Okay,
I literally only saw those last 3 drives.
I mean, we were dead. We were dead in the water. They had Lamar on every single play. Every single time he tried to scramble, they had him. And the thing that he realized in the third quarter, they were giving one guy space a play. And if he just waited, that guy was going to be open. And suddenly, Lamar Jackson, 37 of 43, folks, 442 yards, 4 touchdowns. Okay. I'm gonna drink this drink for a second, and I'm gonna say some words that some people don't want to hear.
He's not a running back. He's a quarterback.
Okay. Let's just
I know
talk
exactly
about
where you were going.
Let's just talk about some things. He's number 5 in passing yards in the league right now. Number 1 is Tom Brady, because I think he's a scroll. I can't prove he's a scroll, but I think he's a scroll, maybe a super scroll, possibly. I can't confirm nor deny. He might be a scroll. There's just something about him. Like, his face is just like changing just a little bit. Like, it's not the same dude. So, like, let's look back through history. Maybe see if those are dudes that look like Tom Brady. Maybe. Who knows? Okay. Look up the numbers. Oh, guess who's in the top 10 in rushing? Lamar Jackson, number 7. Okay. Here's the stat that should shut everybody up. He currently ranks as his own team 18th in total offense. He has more yards as a man than 14 teams do total. He's doing it all. This team requires him to do it all. This is a classic. It's not like Luka and the Mavs, but it feels like Luka and the Mavs, where it's like, yeah, other dudes can show up. They don't have to, but we have this guy and we're going to win. You can even see the video, the cut when they flip the coin and we say we're going to receive. They quickly cut to Lamar, and you can hear him, you can see him lip. It's over.
Yep.
He knew without a shadow of a doubt. You give him that ball at the beginning of overtime, it's over. I don't know what anybody else needs to see. Like, everybody's like, oh, well, is he going to beat the Browns when it matters? Beat the Browns when it matters. Like, has taken his team to the playoffs the first 3 seasons of his career. By the way, this is just his 4th season in the league. Like, we weren't asking him to. I wasn't demanding he win the Super Bowl. It was just going to be cool if he won the Super Bowl in his first few years. Yeah, that'll be cool. And now he's got 3 years of tape for teams to worry about. And he just sat back in the pocket and thrashed a Colts defense that does not suck. That's a really good defense. Watch the first 3 quarters. The quarterback just got better than the defense and tore him apart. That's what happens. Good quarterbacks can come back when they see flaws in a defense that just takes time to take advantage of. You can get defenses into patterns, and you can get them used to what you're doing, and then you can take advantage of them. Hollywood Brown even said Lamar was walking, pacing up and down the sidelines in the third quarter saying, okay, here's what's going to happen. Defense is going to get a stop. We're going to do this. We're going to go down and get a touchdown. Then we're going to stop them. Then we're going to go to overtime. He's talking through the whole thing. He was going like, he's out of this world. And the Calais Campbell blocked field goal was spoken into existence by Michael Broderick. Michael Broderick during practice this week said, oh, we're going to slide over, and Calais is going to block it with his massive arm. He spoke it into existence, and it happened. And that, like, I loved what Coach Harbaugh said after the game. Said, you know, nothing happens tonight unless you did what happened before. Nothing happens at the end of the game unless you make that tackle, unless you miss that tackle. And everything happened for a reason. And that's just, to me, the feeling I have about this team. And you can not listen to me if you want, but like, that's what I feel about this Ravens team, is that it doesn't make sense at some points, and I don't have answers for that. And that's fine with me, because that's the shit that like legends are made of. Like, that's like the iconic stuff. The you cannot explain how this is happening stuff. The field goal bouncing off the bar, beating the Chiefs, this kind of comeback. Like, that's the kind of stuff that makes unbelievable stories. And I think if you're waking up this morning trying to like still hate on Lamar, shave your head and go to sleep. I'm done.
Fair. I didn't say. You know me. I'm one of the people who would say Lamar was an RB, this, that, and the other. You've heard nothing about me saying that this season, because he's proven otherwise. So I'm not mad. He has proved he is more than just a running back. Good for him. But what can you do? It's one of those things. So hey, good for him. I hope when the time comes, Cleveland Browns do what's needed to take him down, because that's what we got to do. So hey, I what can I say? Good for him. Him getting Colin a real life win. Him getting Colin a real life win also gave Colin a fantasy loss, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
I was playing him in 3 leagues, dude. 3 leagues. And I didn't look at my phone. I took my watch off, because I love my stepdad Dennis to death, but he is legit 7 seconds ahead and will text me within that 7 seconds, and my wrist will buzz and I will miss what happens on the screen every single time. It is clockwork at this point. And so I had it all off. I wasn't even checking fantasy scores, and I didn't care. And I even said it Sunday in the chat. I said, I just opened up the can for Lamar to come in and have the greatest comeback ever, and everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome, because I don't care. I put it out. Y'all, you can have it. Real football win over fake football all day. I'm in. Go Ravens. All right. Now let's get to the shitty stuff in the NFL. As we travel to Las Vegas, where John Gruden is no longer the head coach, as he resigned last night after the New York Times article surfaced, where multiple emails between 2010 and 2018 have Gruden using racist, misogynistic, and just anti-gay language, just terrible stuff. And those emails became public, just awful, just unnecessary words. And I don't have too much to say on this, besides that they let him resign, and that's kind of where I'll leave my thoughts. I know there's like a lot to be said about this that's already been said over the last 12 or 24 hours since the news broke, but the dude coached over the weekend, and that's a problem.
Yeah, I really don't get how they let him coach, and honestly, I gotta step out for a moment because my internet is going to complete hell. So I'll be right back. I gotta do a quick reset. But Colin, just talk more about this.
So this sucks, because a great weekend of football on every sports channel, ESPN, NFL Network, is overshadowed everything. And to me, the voice that stuck out the most, the opinion that stuck out the most, was Keyshawn Johnson. Compared Gruden to a car salesman who 30% of people saw right through, and 70% just ate it right up and bought the car and drove off the lot. It's unfair to the Raiders players that now this is going to hang over their heads for the rest of the season. I'm excited to see them bounce back, and wouldn't surprise me if this Raiders team is in the playoffs competing for the AFC West title with the Chargers, with the Chiefs. It's just going to be one of those things that people won't forget, because it's going to hopefully bring more things like this to light and get all of this negativity and this negative energy out of the NFL. And this could be controversial, but I think this stretches all the way to the people who sit there and say that I stopped watching football because of X, Y, or Z, because it got political, this or that. It's been political for a long time, and it just changed and didn't suit yours. The major politics of the players changed, and those didn't fit yours, and now you're upset about it. And I'm sorry, but now people like you are getting pushed out of the league, and no offense, we don't want you here anymore. This is the league that I want to be a fan of. The league that is accountable for itself. You can say what you want about Goodell. You could say that this was really done because of what was said about Goodell in the emails. He called him something I can't even say on the internet. I'm not even going to say it. An anti-football slur. Like, he just hated, dude just had negative things to say about the commissioner, and we know what the commissioner does to people who speak out against him. This is just not good for football, but in a good way, in some way it is, because we're cleansing this league of people who don't need to be here. Like, that energy, guys had to go into the locker room with him on Sunday, already knowing what he said about the NFLPA executive officer, who is a black man, and a majority of his team is made up of black men, and they all just looked at him like, dude, they're all probably like, dude, you're full of shit. We have no want to listen to you. We do not respect you. And yeah, he resigned, but he should have been fired. But the problem is, his owner is a 90 or 80 some odd old white man, and wasn't going to fire him. He was going to let him walk out the door and ride off into the sunset. And somehow there's going to be some thing in his contract where he gets something, because he was on a 7-year contract and he was in year 2 of it. So he's got some crazy payout probably, and that's going to be some huge thing. And hopefully he does the right thing and donates that payout money to organizations, but that probably won't happen. We know how this goes, and it's just too much. Like, talk about the issue, but the thing that really stuck out to me was how much I disliked that a beautiful weekend of football, just good football, was
tarnished
by this news.
Tarnished, overshadowed, multiple words you can use for this. Just sad. Just overall, just sad.
My main point about it being good, Matt, was that we are getting this negative energy out of the league.
Yes.
That's the good part that you have to take from it, and I think it's going to be a jumping off point for the Raiders organization to move in a better light.
Yeah. My thing is, it's just like we celebrated the first openly gay player to come out of the closet while still playing,
and he plays
for the Raiders. So, like, Carl Nassib, a former Cleveland Brown, all I could think is, damn, how does Carl feel?
How does Carl feel? And here's what I said: what percentage of the Raiders players are black, and they had to go in and look that man in the face as their boss on Sunday?
You talk about Michelin tires for lips. It's like, huh? Like
the shit your players could say about you, bro. Or probably do, to be honest. I guess, who we can just try to bring this back to football. Who's the real answer at head coach in Vegas?
Greg Williams. No, I'm kidding. Although that man does deserve a chance to be a head coach, I will say that. I
think
have been kidding
Wink
with that.
Martindale would be a good Vegas coach, bro. The way he's been with that defense in Baltimore when he rocks the chains.
Realistically,
he was on a 10-year deal. Yeah, I said he was on a 7-year deal. Yeah, he was on a 10-year deal, year 4 of that. So he had 6 years remaining on his contract. So since he
I think
resigned,
you got to worry about your OC.
So since he resigned, do you think there's contract stipulations in that are different than if he was fired?
No, because I think they probably, considering what went on, probably made him give back that money or forfeit.
Yeah, I said at least if there is any bit of it that he gets back, that he donates it, but that probably won't happen if that does happen.
Yeah.
On to the NBA, where we are officially 7 days away from the start of the NBA season, where my Golden State Warriors face off against Matt's Los Angeles Lakers.
LeBron.
I will call them Matt's Cleveland Cavaliers and Matt's Los Angeles Lakers and Matt's Brooklyn Nets.
It's the
Oh no.
Nets now. No.
Oh wait.
I denounced the Nets now.
Repeat that part. You broke up for that part.
I denounced the Nets because I denounced my Kyrie Irving fandom last week.
Okay. So we have. So we need to establish this now. Okay. All right. I am a Golden State Warriors fan. Okay. I'm a fan. Ask me how many games I've watched in the last 2 years, and I guarantee you it's more than 90% of people who've watched Golden State Warriors basketball. I guarantee it. I've watched all the bad shit. I have watched Jordan Poole passing to Kayvon Looney in the paint and then passing it back, and Jordan Poole thinks he's going to shimmy shake, pull back jumper 3. Oh, brick. Oh, my God. Over and over and over again. And the Andrew Wiggins experience never stops. Matt claiming, of course, his Cavs and the Lakers. I will root for the Hornets, though, because the Hornets and Hawks, they're just fun. So I want them to succeed, and they're my local-ish teams that I have no problem with them doing well. And I just want to say that before I come on here one night and I'm like, look what Trae Young did! Look what LaMelo Ball did! Also, did you see the new Big Baller brand lifestyle shoes that were...
Bro, can we not talk about those? Those are just... Ugh.
Matt roots for both. He roots for the Cleveland Cavaliers and the entity known as LeBron.
And I did root for Kyrie up until about a week ago. LeBron, I'm from Cleveland. I never had an issue with the decision to go to Miami. I more so had an issue with how he handled it. And then he wrote that heartfelt letter and he and Kyrie won us a championship. Kyrie, I loved as a player, even when he got drafted. And when he made that shot, it's like I have a pair of Kyries that are Nike ID Kyries from that night, ordered from that night, that have champs and the date we won the championship stitched into the tongues.
You know what else happened that night, Matt?
What?
The Battle of the Bastards. It was one of the wildest nights of my life. I'm at my grandparents' house.
I was in a
shoddy
bar,
internet
so.
On the old microwave Xbox One, that big, thick mother effer.
I still have it.
Oh my God! I was watching the game. I brought my TV up. I had my TV set up in the bedroom on the other half of the house, and then I watched the Battle of the. I cried after the Warriors lost, and then I cried watching the Battle of the Bastards.
I didn't watch Battle of the Bastards like 4 or 5 days later.
I can imagine it would. Yeah, I bet. But then the next year I was at a victory parade, so it was fun.
Yeah, I didn't get to go to the victory parade.
I did pass out at the victory parade.
That still bugs me. Like, my Costco, literally, the Costco I used to work at, opened the day of the victory parade, so I couldn't call off because it
That's
was
rough, buddy.
opening day.
On to
And
some
then,
other rough shit, though.
whoa. You want to here's where you get a laugh in. My grandmother looked at me and said, "There will be others," and I said, "Grandma, you never say that. You never say that." And what happened just a few short weeks later? KD signed with the Warriors, and I looked at her and said, "You're a jinx."
Yeah, that's rough, man. Okay. We have breaking news on the Kyrie Irving situation as of tonight. Shams Charania posting a story claiming that with sources close to Kyrie, that Kyrie's holdout is not because he is anti-vax, but because he is anti people losing their jobs due to vaccine mandates. So clearing it up ish, I guess. We saw videos this weekend of Kyrie and KD at an outside Nets practice, messing around. Kyrie in one of the videos coming up to KD and kind of looking like everything's fine, and KD kind of gave him a shove that kind of looked like everything was not fine. And this is all a very weird situation. So as of right now, also announced today by the Nets GM, Kyrie will not play any games with the team. As of 4 days prior, Kyrie was going to play away games with the team, but not play in Brooklyn. Though we need to get we're real sports, right, Matt? So we got to get all cards on the table here. Some fishy stuff going on with those rules because there are unvaccinated players that are allowed to play in Brooklyn as long as they're following protocol. So, like, in theory, Jonathan Isaacs would be able to travel to Brooklyn and play, but Kyrie Irving would not. So there is definitely some like Pishikaka going on there, but that's not my place to determine. I'm not a politician, but I do smell some like this is some kind of weird, like these are just murky waters that we're in.
If I remember correctly, it's because that Kyrie technically for the most part works in New York, and Isaac would be there for like a day or two, if that.
Right.
Because part of the reason, like, the Kyrie would not have been able to play. Just like when ESPN report the other day,
Can't
it's
even
like
be in the building.
Yeah, he can't. He was allowed in the building. They found a loophole for him to be in the building because it is a private workplace. It is not public. So they found a loophole for him to be in the building.
He can practice there.
Yeah, but the Nets just said, you know what? If he's not going to be here for home games, we're just
Well, it sucks on the fantasy team I drafted him on.
Oh, you wasted like what, third on that?
Oh yeah, definitely. So like 2 a.m. too. I felt like I was a genius.
Damn.
I was a fool. Packed like a fool.
You live and you learn.
You live and you learn. But I think I said this last week. I think I did say that Kyrie Irving was not going to play basketball for the Brooklyn Nets this year.
Yeah.
I think I said that.
You did.
Okay. I was like, okay, I think I was having like deja vu. I was like, okay, I don't think he's going to play basketball, but I think I already said that. So this is weird. Like, this is just a weird situation, and it just sucks because I want to sit here and talk about basketball like I can. But let's talk about Ben Simmons then. Is he going to play for the Sixers? Because they definitely offered him for Kyrie. I know that's a fact.
No, Kyrie was offered to the 76ers. They didn't offer it.
Sorry. They didn't offer Ben Simmons. They offered Kyrie for Ben Simmons.
Yep, and the 76ers said nope.
Hell no.
If I'm the Sixers, I would have taken that deal because, I mean,
what? Are you out of your mind?
Let me finish. Kyrie went on record saying if he got traded, he would retire. That money comes off the cap.
Yeah,
you open
but
up
it's
cap
October.
space for if you're so confident on playing without Ben Simmons as it is,
No. But if you're them, you're trading Ben Simmons for somebody that's going to help you right now with Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris. You know that's a fact. They're not going to trade him for freaking cap considerations. The ultimate cap consideration trade in NBA history.
Yeah,
Which is what that would be. That would literally be a cap shed. A $35 million cap shed. That'd be insanity.
I mean, what can you do? I still wouldn't have bothered me. Kyrie retiring, as much as I used to be a fan, would have been like, all right, well, that was a career. At least he got one ring.
Just some other news in the NBA as we move on from that. Al Horford unfortunately tested positive for COVID-19. Ben Simmons did report to the Sixers. So,
yes,
that's the wild part.
He has officially reported.
And Matt and I were watching a video before we started the stream where my man Reese on Twitter was going off saying that Ben Simmons felt so disrespected and he still came to work. Like, they shopped him to every other team in the league and everyone was like, no, we don't want him. And he still showed up to a place that didn't want him. Like, at least, like, Kyrie, just show up.
Just show up. Yeah.
Just show up.
That's all they're asking. Just for you to show up.
Like, it's a championship, man. They can win three championships in a row.
Realistically, we're looking at 2.
And competing for 3. It's like that. It's like the Warriors run. It's like a little Warriors run where you can have the spurts.
I say this because Kyrie has a player option. I think it is
It's
after
the
that
post Cavs Warrior. It's the post Cavs win Warriors run. 2-2-3. Where shit would happen in the third one. Everything goes great with the second one. The first one's a bit of a struggle. No, the first one was great. The second one's a bit of a struggle. Wait. No, I had it right the first time.
No, you had it right the first time.
I had it right the first time.
Because y'all got taken a game to 6 games by LeBron with a second best player being Matthew Dellavedova.
Yeah, right. The amount of times I had to unfortunately scream, "The deli is open" during that series.
Deli tray.
Deli tray. Well. Oh, the Warriors and Lakers are playing right now on TNT as the Warriors are 3-0 in the preseason and the Lakers are 0-4. Former Cavs J.R. Smith, we can bring this back around, playing collegiate golf today, was attacked by a swarm of Yellow Jackets, sought out medical treatment, and finished his round. Great stuff from J.R. Smith. I think I'm working my butt off over here at College of Charleston to try to get North Carolina A&T to come to a tournament so I can be like, "What up, J.R. Smith? How's it going, bro?" Like, who doesn't want to? Oh, hold on. Who doesn't want to come to a golf tournament in Charleston? Like, let's not act like we don't have great golf tournaments. Like, we just hosted the PGA. Like, let's chill. Like, we could get it on. You know, like we can get this thing going. Also, shout out to the CFC women's golf team. Emma Shemp this weekend. She shot a 7-under 64 school record for College of Charleston golf. Incredible stuff. Great weekend of sports for the Cougars. We had a 5-set win in volleyball over Towson. Just incredible stuff, man. It really feels like I'm all CFC and College of Charleston football and South Carolina football because there's no football at College of Charleston. But South Carolina football, they suck. As we can move over to college football, where South Carolina sucks.
Oh, no.
The
I got a
best
bone to
team
pick
in
here.
South Carolina in college football is Coastal Carolina. It's a wild world right now, Matt. I think the Matrix is broken. And Iowa sucks.
Man, I got a bone to pick with college football right now on some bullshit.
Which
How you
bullshit?
gonna have the number one team in the country lose to an unranked fucking team
Well, I got an answer.
and drop them to 5?
I got an answer.
Wait. Ohio State lost to a top 15 ranked opponent at 3 and fell to 9. Bullshit.
I hear you. But
I don't care how hyped that Texas A&M was coming into the season. You always, here's the thing. The rankings are supposed to be based off of the last performance. I don't care. They lost to a backup quarterback, Colin. A backup. I don't care that Ohio State's was by the same deficit. It's bull.
I'm gonna tell you, bro. And this is just something you're gonna have to learn, and you ain't ever gonna learn.
Nick Saban can do no wrong.
Nah, bro. It's the SEC. It's just something you cannot understand, and the SEC people understand. Those wins are harder. I don't care. I don't
Big
care.
Ten is the best conference in football. Just saying.
That's not true. Penn State would get washed by LSU. Washed.
We have 1, 2.
Iowa would get washed by the top 6 teams in the SEC. Ole Miss would whoop every team in the Big Ten, dog. Yeah, for the first
5 teams in the top
Matt,
10.
Yeah, hey, Matt, that's a cool stat. It's the second time it's ever happened for your conference.
4 teams last year.
You've done it 23 times. 23 times you've done it twice.
Because there's an SEC bias. There's a bias. Let's be honest.
You're scouting a stat you've done for the second time against a conference that's done it for 23 times. Okay, dude? That's real cute.
It's a bias.
It's cute. It's not a bias when they keep winning the titles. If it's not a bias, then win the titles. Seriously.
Let's see. I don't see Texas A&M winning any title. There's one team I see winning titles, and that's Alabama.
Do you watch the SEC championship games, bro? No,
I'm just saying. I don't see any other teams winning titles. That's all I'm saying.
Alabama, LSU winning titles. That's SEC.
Okay.
Auburn.
LSU 2 in the last 20 years. Okay.
What do you want? Florida? Let's go. We're throwing more teams out there. Georgia?
Let's see.
That's 5 teams. How many teams?
Georgia hasn't won one in the last 20 years, if I remember correctly. They competed for them, but
they're competing, bro. Like legit competing. Like these are good teams, legit competing. And you got like Ohio State getting into it. Like come on, man. We got multiple teams that have been in the playoffs. How many Big Ten teams have been in the playoffs? How many times? Run that chart. Show me how many SEC teams have been in the playoffs. Show me how many Big Ten teams have been in the playoffs that many times. It's at least double. It's more than double.
It's 2 and 2. We've only seen 2 SEC teams make it and 2 Big Ten teams make it.
What are you talking?
We've
seen LSU. We've seen LSU.
Okay,
Alabama. I keep forgetting. Georgia, and they've made it multiple times.
I keep forgetting LSU is technically. I always think they're ACC. That's on me. So 3 and 2.
Okay.
I don't. No, it's just
That's
so 3 and 2. Okay.
Apologies to all the SEC fans that just had to hear that.
Fuck LSU. I don't give a fuck about them.
But bro, when you live in a conference where Clemson has been more competitive than Ohio State and Michigan, I'm not standing on that soapbox if I'm you, bro. I'm not standing on that soapbox.
Clemson has been just as competitive.
They've won national championships, bro.
We won the first college football national championship.
What sense?
What? I said we won the first one.
How many cents?
Clemson's won They've won 2. We have 1. Alabama has 2. And LSU has the 1. Or does Alabama have 3 yet?
So that's
Alabama
1
has 3.
for the Big Ten, and that's 5 for other people. And how many Big Ten teams were competing for those titles? 1. That's my point, dude. That's my point.
Clemson's ACC. So the point I'm trying to make is, if it was all the teams in the SEC, sure, but it's the same ones. Just like with the Big Ten, it's always Ohio State. That's why I'm like.
But now it's not, and these other teams are beating Alabama, and these other teams are winning, and yet this is still the argument. I'm saying my original point is that there's never been more parity in the last 25 years in college football than there has been right now. We have gone through phases. We've gone through the USC Texas years. We've gone through the Alabama years. We went through the Florida years. Then we've gone through the Alabama LSU years. We're now in a time where people are competing on a weekly basis, and you cannot count any team out on any given Saturday. This is something that we have not seen in a very long time. And that wasn't just a team that came out and had a good game. That was a team that came out and played a great 4 quarters of football from Texas A&M the whole time. It wasn't that Alabama was, not even in it. It was a great game. That's what I'm saying. And to me, it's just like when I look at the teams coming out of the Big Ten this year, Iowa's offense, non-existent.
And defense.
It's all defense. They intercept a pass every 6 passes. It's some ridiculous statistic.
Highest scoring defense
but
in
they're
college football.
Ranked in the bottom 30 teams in offense. That's not going to win you a championship. It could win you. It could take you to the Big Ten title, but it's not going to win you a playoff.
It's not going to win the Big Ten title.
It might get you to Indianapolis. You might not get to
Indianapolis. Something that needs to be said, especially, is this Ohio State team. Once they changed D coordinators, their defense just flipped around completely, and I'm so happy about that. I shouldn't say change D coordinators because they have co-coordinators still. It's changed who's the play caller for him.
And also, we cannot sit here and talk about football and not talk about Wake Forest. They are freaking 6-0, 4-0 in the ACC, going in, beating teams on the road, 2-0 on the road, and they haven't played Clemson yet. And if Wake Forest beats Clemson, I'm sending Mark Ellis a fruit basket. I am so happy that Wake Forest is 6-0 and doing well. Somehow, Oklahoma Sooners are 6-0, even after benching Spencer Rattler in the Big Ten. Michigan and Michigan State are 6-0. Ohio State, Penn State 5-1. Iowa 6-0. Big win over who did Iowa play this weekend?
Iowa played Penn State.
Wait, then how are they? Yeah. Then Iowa beat Penn State, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they rush the field?
Yeah, Penn State was 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Penn State was 4.
Here's my other problem with the Big Ten. Act like you've been there before. If you're in the top 5, don't rush the field when you beat another top 5 team. That's immaturity. That is dumb-ass immaturity.
But let's be honest. Iowa hasn't been there before. They're only there once every 5 or so years.
But you were ranked above them. Were picked ahead in the
I know.
At home. Let the kids from the Children's Hospital rush the field. Don't let the people in the stands rush the field. That was just immature. I hated that. That was my big gripe. Come on, man. That was my come on, man of the weekend.
It is what it is.
Disgusting.
Ohio State mollywopped Maryland. That's all I could ask for.
And somehow Georgia's the number 1 team in the country, and we have Georgia versus Kentucky this weekend for number 1 in the SEC East, and they are both undefeated. And I don't know why, but for some reason I'm going to watch this football game.
I gotta find some football to watch because it's Ohio State's bye week.
Well, I know what game should definitely not watch. And it's South Carolina versus Vanderbilt. Thing I miss about college sports is two-sport athletes. You know where you can get those? South Carolina. We were always full of them. Bruce Ellington, point guard on the basketball team, wide receiver on the football team. Oh, we love to see that stuff, man. We had Sean Carson, he was shortstop on the baseball team, played running back for us. You get that sometimes. I do miss that now. It would have been nice to see. How sick would it have been to see Kyler in the College World Series for Oklahoma? Oh, that would have been awesome. That would have been prime time television. That would have just been sick. Like Russell Wilson in the College World Series for North Carolina State. That would have been sick. Patrick Mahomes for Texas Tech. Some awesome stuff. But college football is terrible. South Carolina is terrible. And now we just root for the SEC to beat everybody else. That's how we do it around here. That's how it works. It's been that way my whole life. You root against every team. You root against Clemson, and you root for the SEC. It's like your country in the Olympics. And I got nothing else for it. It's just how it is. We just want to, just want to see y'all not succeed for some reason. We just like being the best. I'm going to shut up.
Warriors
are losing 26-20.
College football is about to go down the shitter with that Oklahoma and Texas joining the SEC.
Yeah,
they need to just abolish these divisions and just let it be the Wild Wild West. I'm sorry, they do.
Yeah,
treat it like the NFL. Just let teams schedule who they want to schedule
and run it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not with you.
Just have tiers to it. Just have tiers to it.
What do they say? There's levels to this shit.
Yeah. Just. All right, let's talk the fantasy update and get out of here.
Let's do it. Over to the Watt Fantasy Football League as I take an L as I was up 197 to 126 and lose 207 to 196. Holy shit. Cannot believe that actually happened as we take a look at the standings.
I am not in the bottom anymore. Let's go.
Last place as Dwayne's team Burke is taking over last place. Matt being in his barbecue, fourth place. The Buck stops here in third. Just the two of us. 2. That's funny. And New Jersey Movies. 1.
Still undefeated. Still undefeated.
Over to the West.
Wait. At the beginning of the week, he was projected to have a 10% chance of winning at the beginning of the week.
Yeah, I'm done looking at these percentages. Over to the West. Number 5, Pud Tuggers. Number 4, how about this guy? And number 3, me. Number 2, I still don't know how to say his name. Hakwas. And number 1, Neil McBeal's Navy SEALs. Freaking Chris Anthony Lopez is in first place in the West. Unreal stuff. But
what were the awards today? I gotta go look at this.
Oh, the awards. Oh God.
Weekly report.
Don't look at mine. I could have put my commitment over Jalen Waddle in one.
Number 2, you had the number 2 scoring.
Duh.
Player of the week quarterback was Justin Herbert.
Oh.
Running back was Jonathan Taylor.
Adam.
Receiver was Mike Williams, who Chris got in like the late rounds of the draft. So he's been phenomenal and got an absolute steal. Mark Andrews was the tight end of the week. Greg Zuerlein was the kicker of the week. Shocker. And the Cowboys were the defense of the week in our league.
Well. Sorry. That is just – that's a tough loss. But like I said before, real football win over a fake football win. And that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. And that is the end of this episode of Real Sports.
Yes.
As folks finally show up at the end, guys, all 6 of you. We need you guys here the whole time. Go back and watch the VOD. You can catch all the great stuff coming through.
Just a reminder, we have a Scream trailer reaction that dropped on the channel this afternoon with myself reacting to the newest iteration of this franchise. We had Chris Anthony Lopez doing a Home Sweet Home Alone trailer reaction. God, that movie looks so fun. And then, of course, we had my review for The Last Duel, which you can go check out. All of these you can go check out now on the channel. And then this Thursday, Really Scared is back with their Halloween 2 Halloween series marathon discussion. And they're covering Halloween 3 Season of the Witch with Video Drew and their buddy Davis, friend of the channel. And yeah, I'm really excited for that. And then tomorrow you may find a review for a certain Halloween movie from myself.
Ooh, Halloween movies are some of the only ones I can actually stand. Like, I don't know what it is about Michael Myers. It's like slightly calming when it comes to like antagonists in horror movies. Like, he's just so quiet about his business. Like you know, you always know when he's gonna get them. It's like he's very rarely a jump. Like, to me, my favorite Michael Myers moments are not the jump scare moments. It's when like you obviously see that the person is not doing the right thing and they're walking right into his trap. Like the one where, what is it, H2O, where they're in the house and it's like a reality show.
Yep.
And there's like the actor Michael Myers is like walking through the house and then walks into the real Michael Myers and he's like, oh, hey, I guess they hired another extra for the role.
Yeah.
I think it's weird. But yeah, go watch Halloween and go check it out.
Yeah, well, you'll find out my full thoughts tomorrow, people. So just, yeah.
Filmed in Charleston, South Carolina. I'll watch it.
All right, but with that, Colin, take it away.
This has been Real, folks, but this has been another episode of Real Sports, and we'll see y'all next week. Bye.